Have you ever wanted to dive into the 100 Years' War? Well, within Crown Wars, The Black Prince, you get a chance to do exactly that. Now, of course, it's been revisited and revamped a little bit, but hey, if you're looking for a little bit of medieval turn-based strategy, then this game has you covered. Hello and welcome to the Critically Curious. I'm a Monk, and today, yes, we're going to be reviewing Crown Wars, The Black Prince. Now, this game has been published by Nacon and been developed by Artifact Studios. It's currently on the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series S and X, Steam, and will be coming eventually to the Switch as well. But it is not on the OG consoles, it's not on the Xbox One, and it's not on the PlayStation 4. It will set you back around £45 depending on which platform you're buying it on. Now, this is a turn-based strategy game. It's also kind of a kingdom builder as well, where you have to manage your kingdom, you have to manage your troops, you have to manage your infantry, and of course, you also have to manage the missions that you do, the order in which you do them. You have to also manage more than just a single party, because of course, if one party goes one way, if they get injured, it takes time, of course, for them to come back, not only to come back from the mission, but also to recover from their injuries as well. So you're going to have to set up not only one very good party in which you're going to be leveling up and sorting out their gear and also customizing their stuff, but you're also going to have to doing a second, maybe even a third group too. And managing all of those companions is part of this game. I kind of like there being a few extra systems, a few extra things for you to manage, or at once. This is predominantly a slower paced turn-based strategy game, as when you get on to most of the grids, most of the maps, you are individually moving your troops around that board, and of course watching the enemy move around too. So it is a bit more of a sit back, relax, and plan your moves. But you're gonna have to do that because this game's actually rather difficult, especially on the harder difficulties. There's also something called a hero mode where you only get one save slot, so there's no saves coming, of course. And on this map, this is going to be where you're planning your moves. Now, quite often there's going to be multiple missions for you to pick. And of course, it's going to take time for your troops to get to those places. Now, what that means is that sometimes you're going to be on a time-sensitive mission. Some of these missions are only going to be available for a few days. So I'm going to have to decide what mission you prioritize. And of course, you're going to have to rely on having a healthy enough squad in order to do the variety of missions available to you. So you know what? You may actually fail a fair few of those. I actually really like this mechanic. There's a jeopardy behind it that kind of, you're never really sure if you're doing the right thing or if you're going to be able to do every single mission that is up for grabs. Now, of course, when you complete a mission, you're going to be earning resources for you and your kingdom, or your domain as it's called here. Now, when you get different resources, you're going to be able to hire more troops. And of course, the higher leveled troops are going to cost a little bit more gold, but you're also going to be able to level up your buildings. Now, this is the type of a game where you don't actually necessarily get to walk through your domain. It's more of a 2D backdrop. You see the buildings, you see your castle, you can unlock, I think, 7 different buildings for you to not only unlock, but also to level up as well. Now, some of those buildings will let you heal more troops at once. Some of those buildings will allow you to have more companions that you can actually move around in troops on that map. And trust me, guys, you're going to need lots of companions, so leveling that up is probably going to be a priority. Now, all in all, the turn-based combat is pretty straightforward. There's nothing really fancy or new here. You've got your normal things, your melee attacks, your ranged attacks. A few of them have special abilities as well, and as you level up your troops from level 1 to level 7, you will unlock and gain extra abilities depending on the different classes that you have available. There are 6 different classes to pick from. Some of them are really interesting, like for instance Beastmasters. I mentioned it in my first impression. They are my favorite class, and of course a ranged attack does rule the attacks. Now, the story or the general mission throughout this game, the twist on the medieval genre here, is that there is an occult that is rising. You have to fight back that order. So it's not all rainbows and sunshines in the old medieval world. One thing I did like about this game, though, is that you could customize the base characters when you start. So when you very first start the game, you're kind of given, I think, almost 10 different companions that you can pick right from the beginning. They're already, sworn fealty to you as their lord, so they're there ready to play when you very first start out. But what I like is the fact that you're able to completely customize those characters and make them your own. So, for me at first, I was kind of like, well, they're not really mine. I would kind of want to get them progressively like most modern RPGs. But I like the fact that I was actually able to customize them and make them a bit more myself. We also have a blacksmith where we can make and craft and upgrade more weapons and armor. Another nice touch. And there's definitely a real sense of the resources that you have in this game are scarce. So using them wisely is of paramount importance. Now, I've played this game both on the Xbox Series S and the Xbox X. Both of them worked very, very well. I don't really have any problems. There's a few visual bugs on the S. It definitely doesn't look as sharp as on the X. I did have an issue with the actual game. I don't know if it's a bug. I don't know if it's not working as intended, but a couple of times I was, for instance, up on a tower and someone was literally able to stand next to the tower and still attack me. Now, in my opinion, that shouldn't be the case. Something shouldn't be able to attack straight through a stone wall, but hey, it is what it is. Hopefully that's something that will be patched or changed later on. I do feel like this game needs to come with a little bit of a warning, because I think that in 2024, turn-based strategy games are actually kind of a big deal. They're a lot bigger deal than they ever used to be, that's for sure. But with this game, the combat, the style is definitely a lot slower than a lot of the modern turn-based games, because you don't have any kind of free roam ability. So whenever you load into a map, you literally move your troops along that board, turn-based grid style, which can really slow down. You are talking about sometimes 5 to 10 minutes to get your troops into a position where they're actually able to attack. Now, for me, as I said in my other video, that I both like this and dislike it, because I do feel like it slows down your gameplay a little bit too much, to be honest with you. And of course, depending on how much you like to sneak around that battlefield is really going to depend on how long this game actually is for you, because you can actually sneak around the battlefield for quite a long time before the enemy actually realize where you are, or of course you reveal yourself. So it depends how you like to play there. But this game is voice acted, which I think is a good thing. It definitely helps to bring out that story that this game has to offer. So absolute kudos to that. All in all, I thoroughly enjoyed my time in the game. Yeah, there's a few bugs, a few things that just don't quite sit right to me. I may be saying it's a little bit too slow paced, but honestly, I love turn-based strategy games. I like what this game has to offer, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes in the future. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we get some DLCs, we get a little bit of tender loving care to the game too. But let me know down in the comments if you've ended up buying this game and if you've played it, and if so, what you think. All in all, I'm going to give this game a 7 out of 10. And don't forget, if you've stuck around to the very end of this review, a big thank you to you. And don't forget to comment red banana down below, just confuse all those people new to the channel or that didn't watch to the very end. And if you did like the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. That way you don't miss out on more videos just like this, as we have reviews pumping out all the time. But until next time, I've been a monk, you've been a Critically Curious, and I will see you in the next video real soon. Until then, take it easy, and of course, as ever guys, happy gaming.